Justin Glawe has written a new article for Rolling Stone titled, "These swing state election officials are pro-Trump election deniers." Now, in key battleground swing states, this guy found people through social media who suggest that they are planning to not certify election results in 2024 if Trump loses. He names 70 such officials who he says buy into Trump's election conspiracy theories. Who are they? What is the danger? Justin joins us now. It's good to see you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
So make the best case for why these people represent a concern, because you found 70, but who knows how many there are of like mind and intention.
They represent a concern because not only have they expressed sentiments about election denialism, but for 22 of the people who are on this list, they've already refused to vote to certify election results, which is prior to 2020 been what Democratic lawyer Mark Elias calls like part of the pageantry of democracy. It's just a thing that is done. And for 22 of these folks, they've said, nope, we're not going to certify these results of various elections, not just the 2020 election, but subsequent elections for, local city council people and stuff like that. And they've done so more or less. They're all Republicans who have done it on the basis that, oh, well, there might be some fraud, so we need to hold up certification.
So while that's kind of poor form at a minimum, they haven't been successful because they're not elected officials. They don't have any real power, and they really, at best, can gum up the works and cause litigation. So, as Alfred E. Newman used to say, you're probably too young to remember him on Mad Magazine, what, me worry? Why should we worry? They can't really do anything.
Well, I think they do have actual power, and they're one of the ways. There's some big ways that they do have actual power. Obviously, certification. They adjudicate ballots. If you've sent in a mail-in ballot and it's unclear, remember the hanging Chad thing in 2000. These are the people who put together vote review panels that say, who did Chris vote for, Trump or Biden? Right? They can close and open polling precincts, things like that. As far as why worry about certification, and you're right, it is mostly gumming up the works. The reason that I think it is a problem is because when these Republican officials refuse to certify results, they're doing so on the basis that they believe that there is a thing called widespread election fraud, which is not actually a thing. And so what it does is it lends credibility to those claims, which is just going to fire people up on the right even more than they already are, right?
I always tell people, Justin, and you are giving a good example of who refuses to believe it. There was never a show of proof in any of the litigation of fraud. They never, and the outlet that they kept pointing to that would have the proof, would have the affidavits, eventually stood up in court and had to say, we do not have such proof. But it doesn't mean people don't believe it. Doesn't mean they're not ready to act on it. So we need people to watch the watchers, and that's where you come in, Mr. Independent Journalist. Thank you for sharing your reporting. Please come again. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.